Hi, Godfather. I just like took my Bluetooth off because I know last night when I was on live, my like audio kept going in and out. So hopefully we don't experience that today. How you doing, bruh? What's up, you guys? I'm sitting down. I had my coffee late in the day, you guys. I've been up since like 5 this morning. So this is like my first time being able to like sit down, but I'm just jumping. Lord, that was crazy. What was crazy? What happened? What happened? What I missed? What was crazy? I just want to talk about how to keep and build a close relationship with God. I'm reading right here. It says, "Learn to be with God, experience His presence in your life, and avoiding drifting away from Him." The reason why I wanted to touch base on this because I feel like eating lots of ice cream. That's what you're eating, lots of ice cream right now. Why you say that? What was crazy? What I missed? But I know you guys. I talked to you guys, and I told you guys like sometimes when it comes to Christ. Oh, is that crazy in a good way or what? Is it a crazy good way or what? Oh, you probably talking about the in and out. That was weird. I don't know what was going on, so I apologize. So hopefully the audio is better today. But I was saying that with me, I noticed that I drift away sometimes from my relationship with God, and I gotta work on keeping. Well, I do work on keeping like a strong relationship with him, but I feel like the good thing about it is that when I drift away from God, I always drift back to God. So that's the good thing. So I may drift away, sin for a little bit, but I come back and I always work on getting my life right. So I was reading the Bible yesterday and last night, and when I was reading the Bible yesterday, no, this morning, it was talking about like, have you been telling, like, people sharing people your experience with God? Like, have you been telling people about God? Like, what have you been doing to get people like closer to God? And I told you guys a long time ago when I gave my life over to Christ that I told God that I would tell everybody about Him if He was able to, help me get through the darkness that I was going through. I said I will surrender my life. So then I was like, dang, have I really been telling people about God? I talk about God, I mention God, I read scriptures, but I haven't really like been teaching people like how to build a relationship with God. For example, I was talking to my cousin yesterday, and he shared a video with me, which was a beautiful video. And in the video, he was like talking to different people, young kids, right? And he was like telling them about Christ. A lot of them were open to it though, but they didn't know about Christ. And I was like, dang, that was really beautiful. You know what I mean? So I can always do something little, not little, but like, on my platform, like this to teach people, how to build and how to keep a close relationship with God, because that's most definitely important. Hi Ghost, how are you? Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna read you guys what it says. It says here, have you ever been chosen for something? A sports team, a role in a play, a leadership position, or a dating relationship? Being chosen make us feel pretty special. It fills our heart with joy and confidence. And let me see here. If even for just a moment, as we realize we matter, this is something God wants us to feel all the time. It says Ephesians 1:4. It says, God chose us to be in a relationship with Him even before He laid out plans for this world. He wanted us to live holy lives characterized by love, free from sin, and blameless before Him. And it says, God chose us to be in a relationship with Him, which means we matter a lot to Him. He really enjoys hearing our real thoughts, feelings, and desires. I speak on that all the time. I tell you guys, like when I pray, like for people, when it comes to people, man, I can't open up to people like that. I'm being serious. I feel like they don't understand. I feel like they don't really get it. So instead of doing that, I notice that when I pray and I'm able to tell God my true, honest feelings, I feel like so much better. Because when I talk to people, I'm like, bro, like you don't get it and you're not even listening. This is the thing. A big pet peeve of mine is like when people ask me like, how are you doing or what's going on? Like people I love, and I tell them and they're not really listening to me. That's why I went through so many counselors. I could not find the right one because If I can't connect with you, I'm not gonna share anything with you, right? If I can't connect with you, I'm not gonna share anything with you. And I don't like a lot of people don't really listen. Like they don't really wait, connect with you, listen, and really try to help you. I did not get that from counselors. So that's why I went through so many. And I was like, you know what? Some counselors, like they were good people, but we just really couldn't connect like that. And I noticed that I came across a lot of counselors that were not faith-based. So that didn't help. So now the counselor that I have, she believes and she's rooted deeply into God. And I've been searching for my daughter. You guys, I always talk about your kids, man. Get your kids therapy, please. You notice something, ADHD, OCD, anything you notice about your kids. I know a lot of people are against medication. I'm not saying to put your kids on medication, but I'm just saying, like, get your kids help, man. Take them to church, get them therapy, start it young. You know what I mean? So, well, my daughter, I was like, yeah, we gonna find a counselor that believes in faith because I want her to have a foundation and know who God is. A lot of people nowadays, a lot of young kids, they don't know who God is. They're not really taught. So you can't you can't fault them. I prefer not to respond when they ask. What you referring to? What I miss? Hi, cowboy. Um. Oh, are you talking about? I prefer not to respond when they ask. Yeah, let me know what you're talking about so I can catch up because I was reading and I wasn't looking at my phone, and I don't want to assume. You know what I mean? God is, yeah, yes, God is. Um. So let me see here. It says he likes being intimately involved in the ups and downs of our lives, giving us strength, carrying our burdens, and leading us to a glorious destiny. He also likes sharing his heart with us, and he feels love when we trust him enough to listen to what he has to say. Y'all hear how deep that is? And it says he wanted us to live holy lives characterized by love. That's Ephesians 4. And then it says right here, let me see here, the opportunity to walk closely like this with all powerful, loving is God, incredible. But sometimes I have a hard time actually doing it. Building a close relationship with God requires heart work. Y'all hear that? Not hard work. Building a relationship with God requires heart work. Oh, wow. I love that. Slowing down, admitting my real thoughts and feelings, and trusting God instead of myself. That's the thing. A lot of people trust themselves, but I trust God. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the right decisions. I don't know. I'm so indecisive when it comes to decisions, and I always pray because I never know what to do, but God knows what to do. And if you ask God to show you what it is you should do, or ask God to help you with a decision, He most definitely will. How y'all feeling so far? How y'all feeling so far? How y'all feeling? Let's keep going. Let me see here. Let me see here. It says these things can feel vulnerable and scary, and I often find myself going through the motions instead of genuinely trying to be close to God. I do this by making a list of religious tasks I can feel good about completing, like regular Bible reading, church attendance, and even serving other people. And then it says right here, again, building a close relationship with God requires hard work. You gotta follow His laws. Most definitely, yeah, you most definitely got to. Let me see. Let's see here. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to see. Okay. Let's go right here. Ooh, it says value the relationship and not the ritual. Let me see here. Ooh, that means that his relationship with God wasn't confined in a slot in his schedule. God was intimately involved in every aspect of his life. Sometimes, instead of living in a close relationship with God, we replace our relationship with God with a religious routine. These are some examples of religious routines that's been created. Let me see here. It says right here, the morning checklist, relationship with God. It says that, hold on. It says it's good to, yeah, keep all his commandments. Yes, for sure. Ooh. It says here, we regularly set aside time for a morning devotional, but we do whatever we want the rest of the day. Ooh, I'm guilty of that because I'll read like my Bible in the morning and then that's it. But I want to like work on reading my Bible like in the morning on my lunch break and then like in the evening and at night. So like, just incorporating reading more. And then it says, let me see. Ooh, it says that we don't remember Bible voices we read. That's something that I really. Oh, I'm so glad that Banana's on here. Banana, hi, Last Cyan. I'm so glad that you all are on here. But Banana, I was like, I think you're really like what I'm talking about right now. I was hoping you would get on here. I was reading the Bible. You read the Bible today, Cowboy? Sorry, you guys, if my voice sounds a little weird. I think I'm coming down with like a cold or something. It says here, we might feel calm, happy, and faithful. Oh my gosh, man. Okay. It says here, we might feel calm, happy, and faithful while we are reading the Bible, but our emotions and temptations overpower us as we go about our day. Now, that's me right there. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was reading my Bible this morning, because I told you guys yesterday, those who were on, my son has surgery. And so I've been up since 5 this morning and I was reading my Bible while I was waiting for his procedure to be done. And when I was in the Bible, it was like bliss. Like I felt so amazing. Okay. I felt like I forgot where I was. I got lost in the word. And then right after I got out the Bible, I was angry. I was mad. I was mad. I'm being serious. Like I was so mad that I had to walk off. Like I had to walk outside and I went to the store and stuff like that. While his dad stayed there with him. And I was like, I had to go pick up some medication. So I went and I came back. And I was like, that's crazy how like, you can feel so peaceful when you're reading the Bible. And then when you shut that Bible, it's like you're back to like your reality. When I was reading what God was saying and I was reading just really great stuff that's so empowering. And then it's like, once my eyes got off of it, I just lost sight. So that's why I was like, I'm really going to start reading more and really talking about God more. What you talking about? So I'm just talking about how to build a relationship with God and how to keep a relationship with God. I was saying that I noticed that with me, like I keep a close relationship with God, but like I drift off sometimes, like not reading the Bible a lot, and I get so caught up in my own feelings that and how and my, like my discouragement or if I'm like down or if I'm distracted, like I get caught up in that. So I'm just talking about how it's different ways you can work on just keeping a relationship with God and being filled up with with God's love and everything, because in this day and age it's really hard. It's really hard. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was teaching my body a verse. My buddy a verse. Ooh, you guys, hope I ain't getting sick, Cowboy. But it's good you obsessed with the high. Yeah, I mean, I got to though. Like honestly, like I want to live a sinful life, like, and it's hard. It's a lot of temptation out there, and I just want to just be more like God. I don't like my flesh sometimes. How my flesh feels, like anger, sadness, depression. Even though like I've told you I've been depression free, thank God for that. But I don't like going through those cycles. So that's why I like to, try my best to be happy all the time. And some people say that's not realistic to be happy all the time. But I train myself to be that way, to be not to let my flesh and my emotions take over how God has been good to me. But that's just me though. But now I said, okay, that's what's up. The Bible has more brutal stuff in it too, and some peaceful stuff in it. Be like God. You say yes. I want to be like God, more like God, because I'm more like myself. Yeah, yeah. I would have been in jail. I'm being serious, because I. Oh God. And I had to pray because I feel like I'm such a good person, and I feel like I get done wrong all the time. Like I don't get treated get treated fairly, right? So instead of me, like before when people used to not treat me right, I used to talk to them and I used to like let them know how I'm feeling, you know what I mean? And not in a nice way, but I'll let them know. And I'll feel like you need to pay for this pain that you're causing me. But me trying to inflect how they're making me feel on them, I'm hurting myself even more. So I was saying a prayer all this morning and I was like, God, like I just like my enemies, I give them to you. You know, like how people do me, I give that to you. I'm gonna allow you to handle it because I don't need to handle it. You know, you have to let God fight your battles. So I've been letting God fight my battles. Cause you know, I was like me, I every time I try to fight my battles, I lose every time. I lose every time. I come out of character, and I lose more that way. So now I'm allowing myself to step back and really be patient. I'm in a season of where I need to be patient. I've been through so much pain in my life, and I, through all the pain, I still worship God in every single moment, every single time. And I'm at that point where I just been praying to God, like, what's up? Like, okay, like, what we doing here? Like, how much longer do I need to be patient, bro? I'm doing everything that you say, and I'm getting nothing out of it. You know, like I'm not speaking evil. You know, I'm doing good by others. You know, you say, give to thy neighbor. I'm doing that. You know, I'm doing all I possibly can. Why am I on here? I don't want y'all to see me. Why am I on here? Y'all didn't tell me that? I'm getting off of here so I can focus on the message. The reason why I don't want to be getting on camera sometimes is when I really want to talk to y'all, like we on FaceTime, you feel me? My eyes are looking on crazy. I'm just talking. Hold on, let me see. Um, yeah, some of the stuff, cowboy, that be going on in the Bible, I be like, this is really in here? Like when it was saying what God would do to your enemies, I was like, nah, I don't want all that to happen to them now. You get what I'm saying? I don't want that. I don't want all that. I don't. That's the thing. Like people can hate me or have hate. Hate is a very strong word. Be envy, despise me. I don't feel that toward nobody. I don't, and I don't even allow myself to feel like that because I don't. I don't. Nobody deserves that much power over me. I don't. That's why when people get upset, I tell myself, let it go. Let it go. Why? Because you give nobody that power over you. When you're ready to cut up or somebody hurt your feelings or you in that relationship and you about to crash out or you know somebody disrespecting you or you're at a job and you're about to go out of character, no, you're better than that. No, do not let nobody take you down. Do not let nobody take you out of character. Do not let nobody pull you away from your girl. Do not let nobody pull you away from praising God. No, they don't. You don't give men that much power. And that's what I've been praying to God. I'm like, God, I give you all the power. I don't give men. When you depend on men and you depend on people, they let you down every single time. I told y'all, like when I go through things in my life, people can't give me what God can give me. And God told me that several times. You can call thousands of people, but what I have over here for you, they can't give you what I can give you. I created you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I agree. I want to be like more like Christ. It is hard to be though. I totally understand. Banana, it's very hard. It's very hard. It's a battle each day. I have my good days and I have my bad days. Sometimes I have like 2 or 3 good days in a row. Sometimes I have 3 to 5 to a week bad days. You know, like it's just it's a work in progress. I'll be right back. All right, cool. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, I say it's a work in progress before I even read your comment, Banana. It's a work in progress. Yes. Patience is virtue. How old are you, ma'am? I'm 34. And patience is virtue. That's what I'm learning. Like right now, God is teaching me to be patient. And I'm like, but how much I've endured. I don't want to cry. I endure so much. Like, how much do I need to learn? You know? So, but it's like I'm patient and I believe despite of, I'm not going to question, but I was like, praying, like, what am I going to get out of this? you know? But now that's a fire. Godfather said patience is a word of the year. It is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to find like a picture of it or something and like put it on my screensaver. And I agree, patience. That's the season that I'm in. It's just patience. That's it. And I be telling God, I'm like, man, I be feeling like I'm losing in life, man, taking L's after L's after L's. Like, how much more do I need to do? How much more? How much more? You know? So go to that verse. What verse? Okay, let me keep reading, guys. It says here. It says, we measure our relationship with God. With God is going by how many days out of the week we complete this routine of how many chapters of the Bible we read each day, not by our love, faith, or intimacy with God. I noticed that when I was growing up, you had to go to church every Sunday. If you didn't go to church every Sunday, people would say, you don't love God like that. Or if you didn't know all the Bible verses, you don't know the Bible verse like that. You know, I used to have people that I used to get into it with, well, they used to get into it with me about like my opinion of like my opinion of the Bible. I'm like, bro, I don't get into it about religion. Like that's one thing I'm not gonna do. Like what I believe in is what I believe in. What you believe is what you believe in. That's it. You got what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't go to church. I haven't been to church in I don't know how long. But does that mean I love God any less? No. I'm constantly I gotta hit my homeboy up. He's a pastor, and I gotta get the information because they always have Bible study on Tuesday. But I for some reason I don't get the alert for it anymore, so I gotta hit him up. So like I usually go to that every Tuesday, right? And then I wanna go to church more. I most definitely wanna take my kids to church more. So, but yeah, I love that it says that. Let me see, you guys. What is this? Hold on. It says here the espresso shot relationship with God. Our relationship with God is like a quick jolt of caffeine when we need it, but we rarely slow down long enough to give him our hearts. It says we make excuses like I pray all day or God knows my heart or I want to spend time with God, but I'm just too busy to justify not spending time with him. It says we read our Bible and pray when it is convenient for us, when we feel like we need it, but ignore God when there is something else that seems more pressing or more pleasurable to us. Wow. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Okay. So this is just saying what we do, and then I'm gonna read more about like how to build it. Okay, let me see. Hi, you guys. If you guys like the vibe, please subscribe. It says here, wow. The what's yours is mine relationship with God. This one, so these are talking about different relationships with God. Okay, so this one is what yours is mine with God. It says we base our relationship with God on others people's faith, whether it's through church, sermons, or conversations with friends. Our faith is fully dependent on the faith of others. It says, if our friends and family have a lot of faith, we do too. But if they are distant from God, so are we. Woo. It says we tend to really do well in our faith at the beginning of the week after a Sunday lesson, but our faith dwindles by Monday or Tuesday. I noticed that. I used to go to church and get a good blessing, and then it felt like every time after I got a good blessing from church, something traumatic will happen afterwards. I'll get into it with the family member, they'll get into it with me. It was always like that. And I didn't understand that, but that's the enemy. It also says we get easily bitter. We expect others to all have the answers. Always be available. Help us solve our problems. It says, or don't meet our standards because they are human. We get angry and upset because our faith was dependent on them. Wow. I told you guys that I used to always call people and be like, I need help, I need help. And God was like, hello, I'm here. What are you reading? I'm not reading at the Bible. It's an article that I found on Google. Yeah, it's an article that I found. And I was reading, I like to read articles. And I was reading and it was saying different ways on how like you can build your faith. And I was reading it for myself and I wanted to share it with you guys. So yeah, I'm not reading a Bible or nothing. I was gonna read my Bible, but the next time I do, I'll let you guys know. So that way you guys can follow. I know Banana, you like to follow, and I know Neek likes to follow too. Okay, so let me see. Let me go down here, get to the good old stuff. Let me see. What is this one? Okay. Let's see. Okay, right here. So it says, okay, it says serve God with a complete heart. To have a close relationship with God, we need to not only serve Him with our actions, but also with our thoughts and with a complete heart. It says, when I think of serving God with a complete heart, I think of giving my all to God and not holding back anything. This can come out in many of different ways at different times. And it says this. Let me go down. It says deciding not to shrink away in our fears or selfishness from things God puts on our heart. Wow. Woof. It says being honest with God, myself, and others when I am motivated by people's approval more than God's approval. That's Galatians 1:10. It says being willing to step in faith when God entrusts me with a responsibility. I used to be so stubborn. That's Matthew 25:14. I'm gonna read that again. Being willing to step in faith when God entrusts me with a responsibility. I used to ignore him. I'm not listening to none of that, bro. Not doing it today. Have people out here thinking I'm crazy, and every time and then once I start obeying God, it was like, man, like you guys, like I you have to I invite God in my life, right? And when God tells me to tell somebody something, I say it. Like, for example, I have a family member, right? Thank you guys so much for the 6 likes. If you guys like this, if you like the vibe, please subscribe, okay? I usually sound better than this coming down with something. God told me to text my family member, right? I text my family member, I think a couple weeks ago, and God put it on my heart to text her yesterday, right? And she was like, thank you, thank you so much for checking in. And then like, I want to say like probably like an hour later, she hit me back. She's like, hey, I just want to let you know that I've been going through some things. So like your text messages came right on time. I don't know who told you. I don't know what it is, but you came right on time. And she was like, the small thing matters. And I was like, yeah, God, that's what God told me. Let me see. No. I'm not reading the Bible right now. I'm just reading an article that I found that I really like. But you can tell me, you can throw the verses in here so everybody could see, Cowboy, if you have time though. It says, believing that my talents and gifts are given to me by God for a good purpose and using them for that purpose. That's Corinthians 12:12. And that's another thing. Like when I was younger, well, I've always had so many gifts, but I wasn't using them in an appropriate way. And I wasn't using my gifts. I was just letting them go to waste. And my big mama was telling me all the time, she's like, hey, you got all those gifts. Like, you think God just gave you those gifts, not to use them? And just like singing, you guys, like I've always wanted to be like a famous singer. And I love, love, love singing. And but when I sing, it makes me feel better. So like for example, right, I was in the car, I just started singing. I heard a song that I really like and I started singing a song. I just started feeling like amazing. Like oh man, singing brings me so much joy. So anything that God placed on your heart, just do it. Even if you don't know how you're gonna get there, right? For the longest time, you guys, I didn't have my GED at all, right? I was at the end of graduating and they told me I had like a half a credit. So, and then I didn't graduate, right? I was blessed to get jobs without it, right? High paying jobs without it. But when it came to a lot of other things, like jobs I really wanted, I couldn't do it because I didn't have my GED. So, hold on. Kind of lost my train of thought. Hold on, guys. So I noticed that once I got my GED, more doors started to open. God was still opening doors, but once I got my GED, more doors started to open. And you would think a lot of people told me so many times, you can't get nothing without a GED. I got so many different jobs. When God didn't, God can do the impossible. Let me see. Imagine that. Let me see. Go to Isaiah 30:33. This is rewards of the Most High children. Isaiah 8. Maybe I can find that in my Bible. Imagine that. Um, yeah, I do. Just highlight and save it for later. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna screenshot what you're saying so I can save it. Okay. Yeah, I got my Bible. I'll most definitely look it up. You know, I got like the application Bible that breaks it down, and I got my old school Bible. So I screenshotted it, and I'm gonna go to my old school Bible to find it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I just screenshotted it right now. Okay. It also says here prioritizing closeness with God and building his kingdom while trusting him to take care of my needs. That's hard, you guys. If y'all got a bill that's late or a bill that you feel like that's going to be late, if you got bills piling up, if you're stressed over finances, if you don't know where you're going to live, if you don't know how you're going to eat, you have to trust that God is going to come on time with everything that you need. You got to trust that God is going to come on time with what it is. But he doesn't always come when you want him to, but he comes on time. I noticed that. Because sometimes my gas, I'm like, oh, goddamn. I's only got $10 on it. And then I look up and then, like my grandmother, oh, here's a 20. Before I'd be like, nah, no, I go ahead and grab that little $20. I think God, yeah, praise the Lord. God is good. Hallelujah. Yep. By the blood of Jesus, go ahead and take that. Go ahead and take that $20 and put it in put it in that gas tank. Like, you know what I mean? Like God looks out for you. Hi, welcome in. Uh what's up? What's up, Cowboy? What I miss? But now they said 100. Cowboy said yes, trust him, having your back and doing his laws. Yes. And God always says, he honors those that believe in him. Those that take time and believe in him and that has faith in him and praise him, he gives back. Right? So I'm in a season where I'm like, yo, I've been giving, but I feel like I'm not giving back. I'm not getting back what I'm looking for. So, but it's like, I told you guys before, I never used to like asking God for anything. So then I noticed when I started asking him, he started giving me everything that I wanted, right? Like I asked him for peace. I didn't know what peace was going to look like until he started moving things in my life. And I wasn't ready for that, right? I wasn't ready for that. And now I got peace, but God told me, hey, you didn't ask me. you didn't tell me how you wanted me to do it. You asked me for something. And I did exactly what I felt you needed. I did what you wanted me to do, and that's removing everything that's not for you and giving you peace. You asked for peace. You may not like how I went about it, but I gave you what you needed. You know what I'm saying? You asked your better friends. I removed all these old friends. And now y'all don't talk no more. And now you said you wanted me to bless you. If you want me to make room for what I have for you, allow me to clean up your life. And I was like telling God, hey, you cleaning up my life a little bit too much for me. This is too holy over here. I just want a tad bit of ratchet. It's a tad bit of ratchet. It's a tad bit. A tad bit. I'm doing good. How are you? But then I said, oh, yes. Hi, Neek. You're about 33 minutes late, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm glad that you all made it on. I was hoping that Banana came and I was waiting. I was like, Neek, yeah, she gonna come, but she gonna be mad at me. Let me see. Not Sigma said, don't ask him. He is watching us and give what we want. No, you have to. He said you have not because you ask not. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what he said. For sure. Let me see. Thank you, Ghost. Thank you, Banana. You guys, I am not a trans, but I'm gonna pray for you ask me that. Because I can only imagine how the people that are, how they feel when someone just walks up to them and asks them that. I wouldn't want that on my worst enemy. Like, you know what I mean? Nah. I'm a woman, but I'm but I'm like, you just don't go up and ask people their sexual preference are what they are. You don't. That's very disrespectful. Growing up, when we seen like a woman that was a lesbian or like a or a man that was feminine, we didn't see anything. We still treat them with kindness. I hope and pray that one day the world gets back to that. I have people tell me all the time, like, you're not gonna judge me for being gay? What? Am I God? No. One dude was like, does it bother you that I have like these stilettos on? I'm like, no, I see your heart. I don't see what you're wearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see what you're wearing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pray for you. But anyway, it says right here, it says, be honest about your desires and your attention. When it comes to building a close relationship with God or with anyone really, our motives matter. If we do all the right things for the wrong reasons, our relationship with God won't be close. Or if we blame our circumstances for why we cannot connect with God, but don't admit that we truly desire something else. God sees that. It says being honest to our real desires and attention, even if they don't sound good or spiritual, will help us get closer to God. I'm going to stop right there I'm going to stop right there, right? No, let me read and then stop, and I'll stop again. It says, and God can even give us a new heart, one that is tender and responsive, right? Let me read that back. It says here, being honest about our real desires and intentions, even if they don't sound good or spiritual, will help us get closer to God. The reason why I'm reading that, right? I'm not gonna tell y'all my thoughts, right? I ain't gonna do all that. But sometimes as humans, our spirit wants what it wants, our flesh, and it desires what it wants. So I like to pray and to let God know how I'm feeling, right? And whatever feeling I'm feeling, I ask God to remove it. Anything, I ask God to remove it. And he does. He does. But you gotta, a lot of people, like, for the longest time, I was like, dang, like, I sinned so much, I didn't even feel right praying. Like, I felt like God was so holy and I was so bad and full of my sin, I didn't even feel equipped to even pray. I didn't feel good enough to pray. So I wouldn't pray. I wouldn't pray at all. I wouldn't pray. But God doesn't judge us, Oh, Ghost put up the clown emoji. Cowboy said, God hates prideful people, though. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a woman, but I'm very prideful. And sometimes my pride, it hurts a lot of opportunities and a lot of things. But I'm learning to let pride go. I got a lot of pride. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. I'm typing some things in with one hand. I got my phone in one hand. Let me see. I just want to look up. Ooh, yeah, it's talking about signs of excessive pride. Need for attention, lack of empathy. Sometimes I can have lack of empathy. You guys, if it's somebody that I don't really mess with, listen, if I don't fool with you like that, right? If I don't fool with you like that, I will treat you like I never knew you. Like, I literally, like, people always say, oh, like, you wouldn't even think that we were ever best friends before, because I, like, once a person crosses me, I don't play in people's faces. I just act like they don't even exist. And that's not of God. You know what I mean? That's not. But now I like speak and everything. But before it, So, yeah, but my pride has gotten better. Okay, let me go back and read what it says. Cowboy said, yeah, be careful because God do put curses on his people for not listening. Listen, when I tell you that when I didn't listen, my life was run through the mud. And I felt like I was on a never-ending roller coaster. I'm not going to lie. And God was like, you got to learn the hard way. And a lot of things I had to learn the hard way. I learned eventually, and I'm learning now, but I had to learn the hard way. And that's why I'm like, want to share my experiences and share. There's a lot of hotheads out there. I'm a previous hothead. Being a hothead is not gonna get you nowhere. You know, it's not gonna get you matching energies, bro. No, I'm telling you. Right here. It says acknowledge God in your life. One thing that helps our relationship with God is looking for ways He is moving in our lives. Instead of looking for things that are going wrong or anticipating things that could go wrong, we look for ways God is moving for our good and in the good of those around us. We can also reflect and acknowledge the ways that He has taken care of us in the past. I love that it says that because even though I feel like things are going like really wrong in my life right now, I still thank God. I thank God all the time. I thank God. And I'm honest with God. Like I tell him, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm out, man. You tripping. I don't know what you're doing right now. I really don't feel like praying. Just give me 5 minutes and then I'll end up praying. You know what I'm saying? You done disappeared and came back and asked me, did I just come on? Or you done left and came back? Go said Cowboy, happy Tuesday, my friend. Let me see. Are y'all feeling this? Y'all want me to keep reading? Or y'all had enough? Y'all want me to keep reading? It says God took care of us before we were even old enough to realize it. Taking time to look and acknowledge the way God has searched for us, perhaps before we even know it, will endure our hearts to Him. It says, when we search for God in our lives, the Bible promises that we will find Him. And it says right here, which of these aspects of maintaining a close relationship with God do you do most? And which do you do least? And then it also says, I don't know, I read a lot, so maybe not, maybe I won't ask that question. I mean, ask you guys that question, but y'all can answer it. This one says, what is something practical you can do this week to put everything that we spoke about into practice? I would say that I would start reading my Bible like in the morning and most definitely at night. Start there, but reading it more. And when I read it, read more of it. Before I read like one paragraph, two paragraph, but I want to like read like probably like like 5 to 6 pages, something like that. Hi, how are you? I answered your question. You ain't paying attention. I answered your question 40 minutes ago. No, I'm exaggerating. 20 minutes ago. But then I said, yes, yes, me too. I'm honest too, because he already knows what I'm thinking anyway. He does. And it's like before I used to lie to him all the time, right? But lying to him, like he knows what's going on. I answered your question and then you disappeared and came back. So you're not answering my question. Did you disappear? So we both waiting on each other to answer each other's questions right now. That's what we doing right now. That's what we doing right now. You guys, I'm blessed for the 8 likes. Salty? Oh gosh, you said, hold on. What you about to say? Hey, what they said. If you can't say nothing nice, don't say it at all. That's why my daughter told me that yesterday. Let's go to the back. How we gonna be talking about God and fighting? See, that's what's funny. I be talking about God, and then let somebody say, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's up with it? You want to step outside? Let's do it then. What's up? Let's do it then." I asked my brother that. I said, "What's up? You want to put on the gloves?" He said, "We can put on the gloves right now, any time of the day you want it." And I'm like, "What?" I can give you the heads right now, but I was like, "What?" Oh God. And talk it out. Oh yeah, we could go to the back and talk it out for sure. Yeah. Back in the day, you guys, I miss like whenever we had a problem, like we'll just fight it out. And then after that, shake hands. Like I wish they can do that now. People go way too far. Or talk it out. Like, talking it out is great. I love talking things out. I love that. And I feel like that strengthens like a relationship. Some people are avoiding. I used to be like, hey, F you and the whole entire situation. We don't even need to talk about it. But it's like, nah, you're not gonna get along with everybody. Like, just talk it through. But after y'all talk it through, you have to let it go. I don't like when we talk through things and people bring up the argument again. I'm like, I thought we moved forward. How we go back to that? Because you guys, if somebody asks me forgive them, I forgive them and I let it go. But some people don't be letting things go. Your brother's on that? Yeah, bro. My brother stay ready to fight. Like, he's the sweetest person, but like, come on, you want we want to throw hands? And I taught him how to fight. I taught him how to fight. My mom was like, I ain't gonna lie though, he can scrap though. All of them could scrap. My little brother, he was 4 years old, and I used to get him on the mitts. And I had my daughter recording it, and I sent it to his dad. I was like, he got hands though. I'm not gonna lie, he got some hands. God is a violent God. Some of the stuff that it said God would do when he was upset. Listen, when my big mom used to read me the Bible all the time, I used to be scared. I said, all right, I think that's enough for today. Like some of that stuff. And when the way they describe those angels, like it's a little scary. That's let me see. Nick said that's fat. Pull people. People pull out the pew pew. That it is. But listen, like, is it really worth all that animosity? Is it really worth all that animosity? Like, for real. I told y'all, like, my neighbors be tripping, bro. And one thing I'm not gonna do is match. Like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. We adults here. You say do y'all think God thinks fighting is not is the answer? Hey, look up Jacob. Well, I don't want to get distracted on what I'm reading. But I'll look up that. Let me see. Not right now, though. I don't want to get distracted. Okay, you guys. Let me see. Let me read a little bit more. We've been on here for 47 minutes. It says, learn from Jesus and his relationship with God. It says, no one has ever seen God, but the one and only Son, who is himself God, and is it in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. No one can see God, and that's one of the things that makes walking with him challenging for us as humans. But God provided a solution. Jesus. We can see Jesus clearly through scriptures, and that's how we see God. Jesus makes God known to us. He is himself of God. So he shows us who God is by the way he treats people, the things he values, and the truth he teaches. He also knows what it's like to live in a human body with all its temptations and weaknesses and still have a close relationship with the Father. That means that we have to read about Jesus regularly to both learn about God and follow his example of walking closely with God. I love this, you guys. Jesus' relationship with God was vulnerable, honest, and trusting. Hebrews 5:7. It was his top priority, and it was the place he turned in his times of deep anguish. Sorry, guys, y'all know I don't have my glasses. Deep anguish and sorrow. It says, what are some things that you learned about Jesus' relationship with God? What would you like to imitate? You say, yes. Jesus' mom seen Jesus. Neek said, really? What y'all think? What are some things that you learned about Jesus' relationship with God? I would say the number one key takeaway is that through pain, he still prayed. Like when I watch those movies or you hear people like spitting on him and, putting like nails through his feet and his hands and, saying all these really like horrible words to him, he still was praying out to God. He was still praying. Still. And another thing is that when people do when people did wrong to Jesus, and that he was a false prophet, all this stuff, that he still didn't stop. He didn't let that stop him from treating people kind. That's what I learned too. A cowboy said, I learned nobody didn't like him or his true image. Yeah, no. They didn't understand it. They don't understand it. Psalms 25:5. Teach me to live accordingly to your truth. For you are my God who saves me. I always trust in you. Let me read that again. Teach me to live accordingly to your truth. For you are my God who saves me. I always trust in you. For one of the amazing things about having a close relationship with God is that he can teach us to live accordingly to his truth, which means his word is, sorry, I just got a text message. Okay. His word is not just something inspiring to meditate on, but a powerful agent of change in our lives. Like, y'all don't be clowning me for the way I'm reading. I really need to, like, wear my glasses more. Cowboy said, who's laughing, bro? Who laughing? Who laughing over there? Who laughing? Yeah, y'all don't be, that's why I didn't want to raise my hand in the classroom. People like, dang, my friends used to be, my friends are the reason why I have thick skin, because they say, you didn't really know how to pronounce that word? I'm like, bro, shut up. Shut up. At least I'm trying to read out loud. But I used to read out loud. I go, hey, I'm gonna let you know. I don't know some of these words. So can you help jump in and help me? Teacher said, yeah, sure. You say Yahweh is the Father, is the Son who helped create the earth. You see here, banana doing something, still here though. Okay, that's what's up. As long as you're able to hear what I'm saying, you know, you got me on the celly, listening through the celly. Cowboy said, living is following the way we eat and how we think. Facts. No one laughing. Yeah, somebody laughing over there. Like, why you keep pausing? Ooh, they got this word. I don't know how to say it, Lord. If someone believes they have a relationship. James 1:26. If someone believes they have a relationship with God but fails to guard his word, then his heart is drifting away and his religion is shallow and empty. I don't know how to, okay. I don't know how do you pronounce that? I hear Yahweh. I don't know how you pronounce that. And people call God different names. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to type with one fingers. Let me see. I'm trying to look up how do you Yahweh, yeah, Jehovah, Abba. It's like so many different things, people. I'm trying to look. Learn how to. Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. Like, hold on, let me see. I'm looking it up right now. Hold up. Cause I never heard of people referring to God. Okay, it's used by the Hebrews and Israelites tradition for Jesus. So that's the name for Jesus, right? Hold on. Let me see if it will tell me how to say it. Hold on. YAHAWA. No. Hold on. How to say? I don't know how to say it. That's why I haven't said. That's why I haven't said it. Okay. Yeah. So you've been referring to Jesus, right? So you're saying I'm getting kind of confused. So you call God or Jesus that name? That's the first thing. If you can answer my question. Well, all three of those words. Hold on. Let me see if I'm able to like find how to say it. I don't even know. Yes. Woo. She. Nah, hex. No, that's not how you say it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm about to look right now. I'm about to mute it because I don't want, copyright. Hold up. Yahawashai? I've never in my life heard that before. Yahawashai. Neek, why are you laughing? Yes, that's what he said. That's what he said. You funny. Hey, she's learning though. I'm trying to learn. Let's Yahawashai. So that's what they call Jesus. But you threw more on that. You said Yahawashai Baha. Woo, Lord. Okay, I'm gonna have to Yahawashai. So that's what it's saying. Hold on. Yes, you got it. Never heard of that either. That's the first. That's the first. Yeah, I never heard of it. Like you learn something new every day, and it said that's what they call them. Okay, so Yahawashai. So you got you. Yeah. Well, thank God to YouTube. That's how. John said, "Baby, why are you in the dark? Are you trying to pray?" No, my camera's off. My camera's off, boo. I'm here. But sometimes I just be wanting y'all to hear the word. Hi. I hope all is well with you, John. Okay, so now let's see. So we got Yahawashai. So what is the other stuff you said? Okay. Yah or Yahweh. Okay, okay. Thank you. Am I good with that, or I have to look up the other names? Okay. So let me see, you guys. I'm trying to think, is that enough reading for today? God is the Father, Yah, or Yah. Okay, yeah, okay. I guess I learned a little. That's all I'm learning today. You learn something new every day. Yahawashai. I'm gonna call my grandma today. I'm gonna call both of them. I'm like, you didn't tell me that's Jesus' name, Yahawashai. Then God will make his home in your hearts as you trust him. Your root will grow down into God's love and keep you strong. Trust is an important part of any relationship, and our relationship with God is no exceptions. Ephesians 3 tells us that trust helps us make room for God in our hearts. I think this is because trusting God quiets the fear and anxiety and anxious thoughts that can take up a lot of space in our hearts. That's man. Sometimes these negative thoughts be taking up so much room. What you mean? What's next on the schedule? What you referring to? Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, me and Neek didn't know. All right, guys. I think that was good. I think that was good. I think that was good for today. So those are some ways. Anybody that's new in the chat, if you like the vibe, please subscribe. I'm gonna do like more videos like this. I mean, it may be for somebody, it may not, but God, when I was reading, God was saying, he was like, how are you spreading my word? How are you telling people about me? What are you doing to tell people about me? What are you doing to draw, people close to me? What are you doing? And when I was talking to my cousin's been doing a lot of God's work, and even on the weekends, and he's always, paying it forward. So I was like, I need to most definitely do that. I need to most definitely do that. Let me see. That was good. You're going by? No. In a little bit. I've been on here for like an hour, so I like this. Good. Banana put fire. Cowboy said amen. Tell them the truth. Yes, yes, for sure. And this made me feel better, you guys. Today was a little bit like a little bit heavy for me, you know? So, but I always feel good after I pray. Or a good crying session. I don't like to cry. Like I never like you guys. I would go to funerals and I wouldn't even like if it's someone that's like super close, I wouldn't even like shed a tear. And it's not because I don't care. It's I never been a person. I'd never like crying, but it is good for your soul. One of my homeboys is like, bro, I had a good crying session, man, and if I felt so great after it. After he told me that he's the strongest of the strongest. He's one of the strongest men I ever met in my life. You know? Imagine, let me see. Today I did 2 louds. I'm gonna do 2 more. Are you sore, bro? What? Sorry, I was reading a text message. Nick, you said same with me. Anybody else doing all that running, Nick? Are you starting to run? Sometimes you gotta cry. Sometimes you do. And my mom used to tell me all the time, she's like, stop holding it in. So even if I'm driving, you know, if I'm out eating and a couple tears fall, like I don't even pay attention to people. I just let them fall. Like for real. I don't even stop it. You guys, so I was really like I was crying, right? I looked over to my left. I put this on everything. I looked over to my left, man. This girl, oh, she was bawling. I said, well, that kind of made me feel better because it made me realize, like, bro, I'm not the only one. She was hurt. You say you don't run. You say you do or you don't do cardio. Ghost said, I used to drive in the middle of nowhere and cry. Couldn't let anyone see me crying. But listen, for you to be a man and saying that, you know how many men you gonna help? You know how many men you gonna help? And I hear people, men say all the time, they're like, like they couldn't show their emotions like ever. And I'm like, you know what? It's like that's probably why I can relate to men so much, and people don't understand. People be making these jokes because as a woman, I wasn't allowed to cry. You know, like I was always taught toughness. Even when I fell, my dad was like, "Nope, get up and look at me," and I wouldn't even cry. I'd be like, "Okay," I'd be wanting to cry, but I thank God that He taught me that only because it really taught me. It gave me strength, right? It gave me strength, and watching my dad practice the word, and watching my dad, all the way up until the day he died, he was reading the Bible, you know, and so I love that I was taught strength because a lot of women they were not taught that. I hear a lot of women say, "Hey, I wasn't taught how to be strong. My dad didn't invest time in me. I don't know how a man should treat me. I don't know, how do I teach a man how to treat me? I don't know. I didn't have a man in my life, so I don't know. So I was grateful to have a man that took the time. To have a man to break things down to me. And people are like, how do you know all this stuff? Yeah, I had a dad that was like, honest, honest. And I'm the only girl you got. No, well, I'm not the only girl. So I have a sister, but in my household, I have a sister. She's younger than me. Shout out to her. Happy belated birthday to her. But in my household, I was the only girl. Yep, gotta let go all that pain. You gotta let it go. Cause honestly, I was like, I was like, hold on, when is this? My email. It was like where I got to a point where I'm like, okay, it's either I'm gonna conquer the pain or the pain is gonna conquer me. Cowboy said, I don't like crying in front of people. You know what? I don't like people crying in front of me. When people cry, I don't know what to do. Like my mom used to laugh like a lot of times because when people cry and like me and my brother, like we don't give them hugs, we just stare at them. You know, because like I didn't know how to comfort somebody when they're in pain or when they're crying because nobody comforted me. You know what I mean? So like people used to be like, oh, well, you don't do this, you don't do that. I didn't know how to. Then I eventually learned how to be there for people, but I wasn't taught that. So when people would cry, I would look at them like, all right, bro, so what's next? Like are you gonna stop crying? Like I didn't know what to do, but I worked on that. Ghost said it was still hitting and will be in my car in the middle of nowhere. Hey, hey, hey. So anybody, you want to cry? You want to cry? Cowboys, not cowboy. Sorry, not cowboy. No, Ghost said he'll drive in the middle of nowhere and cry. In the middle of nowhere. You know what I used to do, you guys? I used to tussle with my covers and my pillows and then just cry. Oh God! Or I'll go in the room and they just start knocking everything knocking everything off the dresser real fast. And like I'll straighten everything up, then I'll knock it all down. And then I'll be like, okay, let's go ahead and pick it up. But it allowed me to like calm down. Or I'll just knock everything off to the counter. I'm like, F all this ass. And they'd be like, oh, that actually felt great. That felt great. Oh gosh, y'all laughing? Yeah. Or I'll grab the pillow and just like pop, 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 pop. And grab the covers and just sweep for left and right and left and right. My parents like, are you okay there? Yes, I'm fine. And I'm not. I think all of us, yeah. And that worked for me. Not being a vocal person, like you gotta figure out. That's why I started like doing like when I lift heavy, people just thought I wanted to do it because I like wanted to be buff. No, I lift heavy because it helps me get all like everything that I'm feeling out. Like I can't even explain it. Why y'all laughing at me? Why y'all laughing? Y'all never got it when y'all in the car? Or y'all just, ah, ah, you know? Or like just scream real loud? Like not in an angry way, you know? Or like, you know how like I used to see, you know, in movies where people go like to the top of the mountain and they just scream real loud? Like that's freeing. You never tried that before? Nah? Y'all said, bro, what? Hey, everybody gets their frustration out in different ways. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why people don't understand. Like, they be all like, all these boxers have anger issues. Why do you think they box? You think a normal functioning person is going to get in there and box? No, a lot of these boxers all have anger issues. And you can tell even when they talk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why people do things. You think people do UFC just because they like fighting? Nah, you got to go to a deep spot to get all that. But that is said, heck yeah. Y'all probably laughing at me. Everybody got their own way of, you know. I think I let my coffee get cold. Do you guys have ways that y'all deal with stress? I noticed that I really like going on walks. Walks have been like walks or even like walking on the treadmill. Walks like when I walk my dog out, I really enjoy walking. But walking with no phone, no music, nothing. Nothing. And another thing that helps me as well is that like not having my phone, you guys. I just like to be like in complete silence. I love that. Like just no silence, no nothing, no music, nothing. Just me, just like complete silence. I love that. And it allows me to like calm, you know? I love that. Cold coffee is good. It is, but not like this. Oh, you say you like music? Banana stole my answer. Yes, walks for sure. Go said facts. Okay, so you said banana. No, wait. Banana said that walks. Okay. Neek said I like music. Yeah, I said walks. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, I love long car rides. I know that Ghost had mentioned driving. I like long car rides. I do. And sometimes like when I was younger, I used to just like go to like far, 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 far. Like drive really, really far. I listen to the same music. I've been like, I don't know, have you guys heard of Kim? He was like a soul singer. I've been trying to, and I was listening to like Sade. Like it's like when I listen to all that hippity hoppity, it doesn't do anything for my soul. I gotta like go back to like Jodeci, you know what I mean? Aaliyah, 112, um, Jagged Edge, even like NSYNC, Justin Timberlake. He got some fire. Who was? I'm trying to think of people back in the day that had like music that I really like Nickelback, Blink 182. You guys, I love all type of musicians. Like you know what I mean? Like I be liking like that neo soul type stuff. Like let me see. Hey, is it black screen for anyone? Yeah. Hi, Ella. Yeah, no, it is. It is. This is just my background picture. My background picture. I'm off camera. I know you guys love to see me, but sometimes I don't be uh really wanting to be on camera because I just be wanting like just to talk to y'all like we on FaceTime. You know? You gotta hear me. I sound like all that hippity hoppity. Hey, I've been listening to a lot of Fetty Wap though. Yeah, baby. I want you to be mine, okay, baby. I had that on repeat this today. Driving you crazy. Oh, there's this other who was it? It was another song you guys by is it Harry Styles? I had it stuck in my head, I can't think. I want you on FaceTime. You see the other person, so you can't use that as a reference. Okay, but sometimes you put a FaceTime on pause. I put my FaceTime on pause like all the time because my mom is like when she FaceTimes us, she wants to look at us to see how we're doing and all this stuff, and she be watching us. So sometimes I don't be in the mood for that. So I just put it on like take it off to where she can't see me. She says, "Is there a reason why you're not on camera?" I say, "Yeah, because I don't got time for you to be looking trying to see." She said, "I do that to all of you guys." Classical orchestra music is relaxing. Oh yeah, for sure. Yes. You know what? Um, they have like orchestras here, and I really want to go to one. Like I'm really into stuff like that. And like plays and stuff like that. I know they don't really have a lot of plays here. I know they have a lot in like New York. But not. Oh, you guys. I don't know if you guys. Any of you know Evanescence? Evanescence. They coming in concert, bro. I'm like I don't know who I want to go see. There's a comedian coming that I want to go see. Plies is coming. Evanescence is coming. Gaga's coming. I've been to four Gaga's concerts though. Four, like four of them. Cool. Fetty Wap used to be that man. I'm telling you. I want you to be mine, okay, baby. Yeah, my lifestyle is driving you crazy. He said, I like Fetty Wap. Yeah, he's a man. Go said facts. All right, you guys. I gotta get to going, okay? I'm gonna let y'all go. Can y'all please put the hearts in the chat? I love you guys so much. I appreciate all six of you guys that are watching. I appreciate all 13 likes. If you guys are new to the channel, please like and subscribe if you like the vibe. I wasn't even gonna I say this every day. I've been thinking about you know, taking a break on YouTube, and I'm like, you know, when I don't be on YouTube and stuff like that, I feel like I'm not really doing God's work or what God wants me to do. And I'm like, you know, I've been working so hard. We've been working so hard, you know, like to just let everything just die down, and we got a good momentum going. So, Banana said, all right, see you later, mate. Yes, thank you so much for the hearts, Neek and Banana. I stayed the whole time. What? What? I don't. What? Did you? Bye, Ghost. Bye, Banana. Bye, Neek. Bye, Last Scion. Cap. That's what I was gonna say. Before I get off, see, bruh, yes, I did. Bruh, you came on 30 minutes later, disappeared for 30, no, came on 30 minutes later, what I missed, disappeared, came back. How long were you on here? I don't know what you're doing. And I'm trying to wait to clear out the chats because Neek likes to talk stuff before I get off here. And then every time before I end the live, I see a smart comment. Whoa, we have snitches. Oh, you guys, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. I remember people used to call me a snitch. I say, hey, bro, nah. Yeah, I know what they say about snitches. Yeah, the last time she said something smart, and I was so mad because I couldn't respond, and I already ended it. I was like, I try to go back to the live, but it shut out on me. I was like, oh. All right, well, anyway, I love you guys. Bye. Enjoy your day.